Your life won't change until you do. That's the mindset shift most people never make. They wait, they complain, they point fingers. But the truth is simple. Success begins with you. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. This isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about looking yourself in the eye and admitting you're done wasting time, done fueling excuses, done living the same day on repeat. If you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of chasing goals that never leave your notebook, then it's time to face the mirror. Because growth, progress, results, they all begin when you take full ownership of your life. In this audiobook, you're going to learn how to step into your best self, not by dreaming, but by doing. This is your wake-up call. You don't need another burst of motivation, you need direction. And it all starts with one decision: to lead yourself forward. Chapter 1. Own your life. Success doesn't start with your boss. It doesn't start with your parents or society or luck. It starts with you. That's the first truth. If life isn't where you want it to be, the solution isn't out there. It's in the mirror. Until you take responsibility for every part of your life, the wins and the losses, you'll stay stuck. Most people wait for life to improve before they improve themselves, but it doesn't work that way. Change doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. You have to decide right now that you're responsible. All of it. That takes courage. It takes humility to admit you've been holding back. But if you want a different outcome, you've got to start living differently. Every day you delay ownership, you delay progress. Blame is easy. Blame feels good, but blame keeps you trapped. Comfort keeps you stagnant. And years slip away in the cycle of someday. Here's the good news. If your choices got you here, new choices can take you somewhere better. That's not weakness. That's power. That's control. You don't need to wait. You don't need permission. You can start right now. Fix your schedule. Clean up your finances. Care for your body. Stop putting it off. There's no perfect time coming. The perfect time is the moment you decide. Waiting to feel ready is a trap. Readiness comes after you start. Confidence is built by action. Clarity comes from movement. The people who wait for motivation are always stuck. The people who rely on discipline move forward, and discipline isn't a feeling, it's a decision. So ask yourself, how are you really living? Not what you show others, not the story you tell yourself. Look at your habits. Look at how you spend your days. Look at the energy you bring into your home, your work, your relationships. If you don't like the answer, don't run from it. Face it. That honesty is your reset button. Don't be ashamed of where you are. Just refuse to stay there. The only thing separating you from the life you want is consistent action. Not luck, not talent, not secrets. Daily choices made with intention. No one's coming to save you. And that's the best news you'll ever hear. Because it means the power is already in your hands. You don't have to wait. You don't have to beg. You don't need permission. You grant it to yourself. You become the person who follows through. The person who shows up. The person who stops talking and starts building. If your time is slipping away, take it back. If your energy is leaking, protect it. If your goals keep slipping, stop treating them like options. Make them non-negotiable. If your habits are running wild, take the reins. Don't wait for someone to push you. Push yourself. Don't wait for a crisis to corner you into change. Choose change now. Growth isn't easy. Responsibility is heavy, but both are worth it. You don't grow in comfort. You grow when you finally get serious. Nobody else is living your life. Nobody else feels your struggles. Nobody else can make your changes. Only you know what you've been avoiding. Only you know the excuses that keep circling in your head. And only you can stop repeating the cycle. Ownership isn't about guilt. It isn't about punishment. It's about power. It's about drawing a line and saying, from this moment forward, I lead my life. When you take ownership, you strip away the lies. You stop blaming the past. You stop pretending you don't know what to do because you already know. You've just been waiting for the right time. But the right time is now. The right mood will follow later. So start small, clean one area, break one habit, wake up 30 minutes earlier, cut one distraction. Set one rule and honor it. Track your progress, reward your effort, raise your standard, and keep doing it, even when no one's watching. That's when things shift. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to respect yourself. And when you respect yourself, you choose better. You build discipline. You stop quitting halfway. That's the real win of ownership. It's not just external results, it's identity. You become the person who follows through, the person who finishes, the person who creates change instead of waiting for it. If you want real success, stop waiting. Stop blaming. Stop hiding from the mirror. Take a deep breath and own it. It always has and it always will start with me. Your life doesn't change when circumstances change. It changes when you decide to lead it. When you stop reacting and start building. When you stop wishing and start acting. Success starts with you, not as a slogan, but as reality. So live like it. Make today the day you stop drifting and start creating. Because if you want to become your best self, no one can do it for you. The good news? No one can stop you either. Chapter 2. Stand up and do what's needed. Most people already know what they need to do. They've known for weeks, months, even years. The problem isn't knowledge, it's action. It's the gap between intention and execution. The truth is, nobody's coming to force you out of bed. Nobody's going to drag you toward your goals. Nobody will demand you take your life seriously. That's your responsibility. And growth begins the moment you do the hard things you've been avoiding. Thinking isn't enough. Talking isn't enough. Planning isn't enough. At some point, you have to stand up and do it, whether you feel ready or not, whether you feel motivated or not. Growth doesn't come when it's easy or exciting. It comes when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, and the last thing you want to do. That's when you rise. Not perfectly, just responsibly. You already know what needs work. You already know the habits, the conversations, the tasks you've been dodging. You don't need more advice. You don't need another pep talk. What you need is to act. Improvement doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. Made daily, not occasionally. That's the difference between those who change and those who stay the same. Not luck, not talent, action. Consistent, deliberate, uncomfortable action. Don't wait for belief before you act. Don't wait for support before you start. Don't wait for confidence before you move. Confidence comes after. Strength comes after. Growth comes after. People waste years waiting for the perfect time. But there is no perfect time. Life won't pause for you to catch up. If you keep waiting, life will move on without you. And a year from now, you'll still be stuck in the same place. You don't want that. Deep down, you know you're built for more. But knowing isn't enough. You have to prove it with what you do next. It's easy to talk about change. It's easy to set goals. It's easy to say you'll start tomorrow. But talk doesn't move you forward. Action does. The real test is showing up today. Tired or not, busy or not, afraid or not. Life doesn't reward intentions. It rewards results. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stand up and do what needs to be done. Clean your space. Fix your routine. Cut the excuses. Turn off the distractions. Stop promising yourself you'll change when things calm down. Start now, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if it's slow. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking, it comes from moving. You don't need motivation, you need movement. Move your body, clear your mind, decide what matters most and go after it. Be ruthless with your priorities. Be honest about where you waste time. Be willing to sacrifice comfort for progress. Because the life you want won't hand itself to you, you have to earn it. Earning it means doing the work when nobody's watching. Keeping promises to yourself even when it would be easier to quit. Following through when no one else would notice if you didn't. That's how character is built. That's how strength is formed. That's how you create a life worth being proud of. The people who get ahead don't have more time. They use their time better. They don't always have more talent. They build more discipline. They don't wait for motivation. They act in spite of resistance. Why? Because they know the cost of staying the same is far greater than the pain of growth. If you want a better life, you must make better choices. If something is broken, fix it. If something drains you, remove it. If you're off track, get back on track. And if you've failed yourself before, don't wallow in guilt. Forgive yourself. Then rise stronger. Stop overthinking. Stop blaming. Stop complaining. None of that moves you forward. Action does. When you start doing the work, everything begins to change. You think clearer, you feel stronger, you take back control. Progress itself becomes addictive, and once you taste it, you'll never want to go back. You won't need anyone to push you anymore because you'll push yourself. That's the goal. To become the kind of person who doesn't wait for permission, who doesn't need external pressure, who rises each day and does what's necessary without being asked. That's real maturity. That's real power. That's real growth. So be honest with yourself. What are you avoiding? Face it, own it, handle it, because life doesn't change until you do. Success doesn't belong to people who wait. It belongs to people who work. You don't need perfect conditions. You need personal responsibility. Own your time. Own your energy. Own your decisions. Own your results. That's when everything shifts. You stop feeling helpless. You stop living passively. You start building a life that reflects who you really are, not who you've been settling to be. And here's the truth. No one can take that from you. No one can stop you from doing what needs to be done. You have the same hours as everyone else. You have the same chance to reset. You have the same ability to grow. The only question is, will you act like it matters? Because it does. This is your one life. There are no reruns, no do-overs. This is your chance. This is your time. Don't waste it waiting. Don't waste it hiding. Stand up. Take responsibility. Fix what's broken. Build what matters. Do the work. That's how you break out of average. That's how you step into excellence. That's how you become your best self. Real success doesn't begin with words. It begins with action. Chapter 3. Clean up your habits before they run your life. If your life feels off track, it's rarely because of one giant mistake. It's the small choices repeated over and over that shape your direction. Habits. The things you do without thinking. The routines you barely notice. They are either building your future or quietly stealing it. Most people don't realize how much of their life is on autopilot. They wake up, grab their phone, scroll, delay, skip the hard stuff, and promise themselves they'll do better tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year, and slowly life slips out of their hands. Not because the world is unfair, but because their habits are in control. You can't build a new life on the same old patterns. You can set all the goals you want, but if your daily behavior doesn't match your vision, you're only dreaming. Discipline starts when you get honest about what you do when no one's watching. Some of the routines you've normalized aren't helping you. They're holding you back. Look at the first hour of your day. That's your foundation. If you start with chaos, distraction, and noise, don't be surprised when the rest of your day feels the same. You need structure. You need intention. You need routines that pull you forward, not ones that drag you down. And don't wait for life to calm down before fixing them. You don't build strong habits when everything is easy. You build them in the middle of challenge when they matter most. Start by taking inventory. Not what you think you're doing, but what you're actually doing. What time are you waking up? How do you spend the first and last hour of your day? What are you eating, watching, saying yes to that you know you should have said no to? Look at it all. No guilt, no excuses, just truth. Because until you see the full picture, nothing changes. Bad habits don't care how you feel. They don't require effort. They give quick comfort. But that comfort costs you progress. And the longer you keep them, the deeper they dig in. Don't wait until you hit rock bottom. Don't wait until you're stuck. You don't need a crisis to change. You just need to decide that how I'm living now isn't good enough anymore. Raise your standard. Act immediately. Don't overthink it. Start small, start simple. Go to bed on time. Stop hitting snooze. Make your bed, drink water, move your body, read something useful, log off when you're bored instead of scrolling. Keep your space clean. These sound small, even boring. And that's why most people ignore them. They want the big breakthrough. But real progress is steady, quiet, unglamorous. It happens when you choose what's right over what's easy, day after day, even when no one's watching. Yes, your old habits will fight you. Your mind will argue. Your body will crave comfort. But you have to be stronger than the pull of your past, because your habits are either building your stronger self or reinforcing your weaker self. You can't keep both. You have to choose. Don't wait for motivation. It's unreliable. What you need is structure. Build your environment so it works for you, not against you. If distraction is always in reach, remove it. If you keep skipping workouts, set things up the night before. If you keep forgetting priorities, track them daily. Make it harder to fail. Make it easier to follow through. Because in the end, your habits decide your future long before your goals do. Clean them up now, before they control you completely. Put your goals where you can see them every single day. That's what real growth looks like. Not just mindset shifts, but practical adjustments. Stop telling yourself, this is just who I am. That's not truth. That's a story you've repeated so often that it became your identity. But identities can be rewritten. Habits can be reshaped. Life can be rebuilt. It won't happen if you live on autopilot. It won't happen if you keep choosing comfort. It won't happen if you wait for change without putting in the effort. You already have what it takes. You've just been too distracted to notice. Too busy maintaining your old routines to realize how much they're costing you. And the cost is high. Wasted time, drained energy, lost confidence, unfulfilled potential. Add that up, and one day you'll look back and see years spent living below your capabilities, all because you never cleaned up your habits. Don't waste another day repeating the same cycle. Don't let another month slip by doing what you've always done. Take back your time. Reclaim your focus. Break lazy routines and replace them with systems that actually work. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every good habit you build is an act of self-respect. Every bad habit you break is a step toward freedom. Your future is built choice by choice, morning by morning, decision by decision. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. They want shortcuts. They want overnight results. But the ones who win long-term, they do the work no one sees. They stay consistent when it's boring. They keep showing up when it's hard. They tighten their habits before their habits tighten around them. The difference between success and failure isn't just mindset, it's execution, it's structure, it's discipline, it's having routines that work even on the days you don't feel like working. It's waking up and following through, not because it's fun, but because it's necessary. If you want a life you can be proud of, it starts here, with what you do when no one's watching, with what you repeat daily, with how you respond to discomfort. Stop waiting for the right moment. This is the moment. You already know what needs to go. You already know what's not working. Now it's on you to fix it. Start small. Start now. Start with the habits that shape your day, because once those change, everything else will follow. Control your habits, or your habits will control you. And if you let them, they'll decide your life for you. Don't let that happen. Take your power back. Choose discipline. Choose structure. Choose actions that make you grow. This is your life. Start living like it matters. Chapter 4. Choose growth over comfort. Most people never grow because comfort is too easy to choose. Comfort feels safe, familiar. It gives you short-term relief, but it doesn't give you progress. It doesn't build strength. You can't move forward by staying where it's easy. You can't become your best self by staying the same. Every day you're faced with a choice, the path that stretches you or the path that keeps you the same. And almost always, the path that stretches you is the one you least want to take. but it's the one that matters most. Growth isn't supposed to feel good at first. That's what makes it growth. It's uncomfortable. It's inconvenient. It demands more from you than you're used to giving. But if you only do what feels easy, you'll never find out what you're capable of. Life doesn't change unless you do. You have to want growth more than you want relief. And that's hard, because comfort will always be nearby. It whispers, take the day off, try later. Now isn't the right time. But growth doesn't care about your feelings, it responds to your choices. The people who grow aren't the ones who wait for perfect timing. They're the ones who act in spite of discomfort. They show up when it's boring, they keep going when it's tough. They stay committed long after the excitement fades. A better life isn't built by accident. It's built by decisions that go against what's easy. It's built by doing what your future self will thank you for, even when your current self resists it. That means waking up early when your body begs for more sleep. Speaking up when staying silent feels safer. Pushing forward when you'd rather ease up. That's growth. When you press against your limits, you grow. When you stop giving in to comfort, you expand. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it steals from your future. It delays progress, keeps your goals far away, and makes your potential harder to reach. The longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to break free. That's why you must train yourself to lean into the hard things, not sometimes, but daily. Make it a habit. Make it your standard. Choose what grows you, not what soothes you, because comfort won't sharpen your mind. It won't strengthen your focus. It won't teach you anything new. Growth will. Growth forces you to learn. Growth stretches your limits. Growth sharpens your skills. Growth is uncomfortable, yes, but it makes you better. Avoid growth and you avoid change. You end up repeating the same day with new excuses. On the outside, life may look fine, but inside it feels empty. Because deep down, you know you've been playing it safe. And that's where frustration comes from. That's where regret is born. Regret doesn't come from failure, it comes from knowing you held back, from knowing you didn't give your all. Choosing growth means taking the path that demands more of you. It means raising your standards. It means saying no to what drains you. It means doing the work even when no one's watching and no reward has shown up yet. Most of all, it means being honest with yourself. Are you pushing your limits or just going through the motions? Are you living up to your potential or excusing why you're not? You already know what needs to be done. You know the changes you've been avoiding. You know the actions that would move you forward. But comfort makes it easy to delay, easy to settle, easy to pretend you're fine where you are. But here's the truth. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. Time moves whether you do or not. Life doesn't pause for your hesitation, and if you don't move with it, you get left behind. So, what does growth look like today? Maybe it's having the tough conversation. Maybe it's getting serious about your health. Maybe it's sticking to your goals when motivation disappears. Maybe it's cutting distractions. Maybe it's less talking and more doing. Growth looks different for everyone, but it always feels the same. Uncomfortable, stretching, and worth it. You don't need to overhaul your life in one day. You just need to stop doing nothing. Pick one area, push yourself a little further than yesterday. Then repeat. Don't chase shortcuts. Don't expect it to be exciting every day. Just commit to the process. Because results aren't built from what you do once in a while. They're built from what you do consistently. Yes, you'll be tired. Yes, you'll be tempted to slip back into ease. Your mind will whisper excuses. Your body will crave comfort. But remember this. Ease is a short-term win with long-term consequences. Growth is a short-term struggle with long-term rewards. The struggle fades, but the results last. When you grow, you feel alive again. You respect yourself. You see new possibilities. You discover strength you didn't know you had. That's why the discomfort is worth it. That's why you keep going. And the more you choose growth, the more it becomes natural. You stop looking for ways out and start looking for ways through. If you want a life you're proud of, you can't keep choosing comfort. You can't keep waiting for easy. You have to rise. You have to level up. You have to become someone who shows up, especially when it's hard, because that's where success lives. That's where fulfillment lives. That's where your best self is waiting. On the other side of fear, behind the discomfort, beyond the choices you've been avoiding. Don't let today slip by while you play small. Don't let comfort steal another chance from you. Decide now, you're done settling. Decide now, you're done delaying. Growth is a daily choice. Not once. Not when it's exciting, but every single day. Your life won't change in one big leap. It will change through a series of small decisions. Decisions to get up, to push, to persist, to stay in it. That's the path to growth. That's the path to becoming your best self, and that's the path worth taking. Not the easy one, but the one that leads somewhere. The easy path only brings you back to where you started. Growth lives on the harder road, and that road begins now. Not tomorrow, not someday, today, right now. Choose the challenge. Choose the stretch. Choose the discomfort that pulls you forward. And when your mind searches for shortcuts, remind yourself, comfort won't change your life. Growth will. Chapter 5. Hold yourself accountable. When no one else does, the real test of growth isn't what you do when people are watching, it's what you do when no one is. No applause, no recognition, no reminders. Just you and the choices you make in silence. That's where your true standards live. That's where your character is revealed. Anyone can look disciplined in front of a crowd. Anyone can talk strong when there's accountability. But when the pressure is gone, when no one is checking in, that's where the truth shows up. That's when accountability matters most. If you can't hold yourself to a higher standard in private, you'll always fall short in public. You'll always struggle to become the person you claim you want to be. Progress is your job. Discipline is your responsibility. Stop waiting for someone else to keep you in line. Stop expecting someone to fix your habits. No one's coming. You are the coach. You are the leader. If you say you want change, prove it. With your actions when no one's watching. With your consistency when no one's asking. With your effort when there's no deadline. That's where real transformation begins. Accountability isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about asking yourself the hard questions. Did you actually follow through on what you said? Did you give your best effort? Did you keep the promises you made to yourself not just once, not just when it was easy, but every time? When you demand that level of honesty from yourself, everything shifts. Excuses lose their grip. Self-doubt fades. You stop lowering the bar and start raising it. You start becoming someone you can trust. You don't need a boss to force you to show up. You don't need a friend to remind you to be consistent. You don't need a coach hovering over you. You need to become someone who leads themselves, someone who owns their time, their choices, and their standards. Once you do that, you become unstoppable. You no longer rely on motivation. You no longer crumble when the praise isn't there. You show up because you said you would. The reason most people stay stuck is simple. They only perform when there's pressure. They grind hard when others are watching. They stay disciplined when there's urgency. But when it's just them, they relax. They delay. They break their own rules. And deep down, they know it. They can't trust themselves. That's why their confidence stays low. If you want to feel stronger, if you want real self-respect, start by keeping your word to yourself. Not for attention, not for recognition. For you. Track your progress. Notice the patterns. Don't make it emotional. Don't drag in blame. Just be honest. Where are you cutting corners? Where are you slacking? Where are you making promises and breaking them? The standard you accept in private is the standard that defines your life. Raise it. Don't lower it just because nobody's watching. Don't compromise because comfort feels easier. Push yourself to stay aligned with your goals no matter how tired you are, no matter how long it takes. That's how you build confidence. That's how you earn your own respect. And once you respect yourself, everything else falls into place. Your focus sharpens, your energy rises, your goals feel possible because now you know you can rely on you. Most people wait to be led. They wait for direction. They wait for someone to tell them what's next. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. If you want to lead your life, truly lead it, you must act without being told. Take initiative. Decide each day, this is what needs to be done. And I'm doing it. You won't always feel like it. You won't always love the grind. You won't always be proud of your effort. But accountability isn't about being flawless. It's about showing up anyway. The goal is progress, not perfection. The goal is to grow. You're here to break your own cycle, to rebuild stronger. That requires consistency. It requires honesty. It requires the courage to step into discomfort for the sake of something greater. Accountability doesn't begin with grand gestures. It starts small. It's showing up when you said you would. It's finishing what you start. It's silencing distractions when it's time to focus. It's saying no to the easy option you know won't serve you. These aren't dramatic moves, but they matter. Because over time, the small choices rewrite who you are. They create a version of you that's sharper, reliable, a version that doesn't wait to be pushed because you've already decided to lead yourself. And here's the thing, you don't need to broadcast your progress. You don't need applause or validation. Let your consistency speak. Let your results become the proof. You'll notice the shift. You'll feel more grounded, more certain. Because you're no longer relying on outside pressure. You've built the discipline to move on your own. That kind of strength can't be handed to you. It can only be built. And it's built in the quiet, in the lonely moments, in the times you're tempted to quit, in the moments when you choose between short-term relief and long-term reward. If you want a life you're proud of, don't base your actions on fleeting feelings. Base them on who you've decided to become. That decision has to guide you daily. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. The more you follow through, the more powerful you become. The more you keep your word, the more trust you build with yourself. And once you trust yourself, you don't need someone else to lead you. You don't need reminders. You already know what has to be done. Stop running from responsibility. Take the pressure and use it. Use it to sharpen your focus. Use it to raise your standard. Use it to stop living like effort is optional, because it isn't. Effort is the price of growth. And here's the truth. If you can't hold yourself accountable, no amount of advice will fix your life. No mentor, no program, no motivational video. Nothing will work until you raise your standard. You are the foundation. Your actions decide the direction. Your habits decide the pace. Your choices decide the results. It's all on you. And that's not a burden. That's a gift. Because it means you're in control. You don't have to wait to be someone worth respecting. Start today. Do what you said you'd do. Own your mistakes. Correct your behavior. Stay consistent, quietly, steadily, relentlessly. Because the person you are in the dark is the person who shines in the light. That's the kind of strength that lasts. That's the kind of discipline that separates you. That's what success is built on. Not talent, not chance, but accountability. Every single day. Starting now. Chapter 6. Act like the person you want to become. You don't become your best self by waiting. You become it by acting like it. Most people carry an image of who they want to be. Stronger, sharper, more disciplined, more respected. They talk about becoming that version someday. But someday never comes unless you start acting like that person today. This isn't about faking it, it's about alignment. Aligning your actions with your intentions. If you want to grow, you have to behave like the version of yourself you admire. Not sometimes. Not when it's convenient. Every day. Especially when it's hard. You already know who that version is, the one who follows through. The one who keeps promises. The one who doesn't cut corners. But if your behavior still looks like the old you, the one who delays, avoids, and excuses, then nothing changes. You can't think your way into becoming someone else. You have to act it out. That means deciding before you're ready, showing up before you feel prepared, carrying yourself with the respect and discipline your future self would demand. Start with the details. How does the version of you admire start the day? How do they speak? How do they handle pressure? How do they enter a room? Begin practicing those behaviors now. That's how you stop waiting. That's how you step into who you were meant to be. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness doesn't come first, action does. Qualification doesn't fall into your lap. It's built through consistency. The only way to close the gap between who you are and who you want to be is to act like that person now. If the future you is calm under pressure, start practicing calmness today. If the future you is disciplined, stop negotiating with laziness. If the future you gets things done early, stop saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Behavior builds belief. The more you live like the person you admire, the more natural it becomes. Every moment is a choice. You're either strengthening the version of you that stays stuck or the version that rises. There is no neutral ground. So ask yourself, who do I want to be today? Then prove it with your choices, your responses, your routines. Prove it by how you handle stress. Prove it by how you manage your time. Prove it by how you treat your responsibilities. This isn't about pretending. It's not about looking perfect. It's about alignment, bringing your actions in line with the future you claim you want. Say you want to be better, then live like it. Speak like it. Think like it. Move like it. Carry yourself like it. Not for show, for intention. If your future self values discipline, make it your rule. If they value focus, protect your attention. If they value health, change how you eat and move. And don't just wait for the big moments. Transformation happens in the small ones, the 10-minute decisions, the way you spend your mornings, the repeated responses to pressure, the habits no one sees but you feel. That's where real change lives. Most days you won't feel like it. That's normal. But growth doesn't depend on feelings, it depends on direction. If you know where you're headed, stop asking how you feel about it. Start asking, what needs to be done? The version of you that wins doesn't check their motivation. They check their discipline. And every day you delay acting like them, you delay becoming them. No one else can bridge that gap for you. No mentor, no program, no shortcut. It's your work to do. You have to be your own driver. You have to wake up and decide, today again, you'll carry yourself like that person. Even when you're tired, even when it feels pointless, even when no one notices. Especially then. Because when you do, something shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who's trying. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. And when that shift happens, your energy changes. Your words carry weight. Your decisions sharpen. Your life begins to match the vision you've been holding on to, and people will notice. Not because you told them, but because you became it. The future version of you isn't something you find. It's something you create. One habit at a time, one mindset shift at a time, one hard decision at a time. You can read the books, you can consume the content, but until you live it, it's just theory. It becomes real only through action. That takes discipline. That takes self-awareness. That takes you saying, I may not be there yet, but I'm going to live like I am. That means walking into rooms with confidence, even when you feel unsure. That means speaking with clarity, even when your voice shakes. That means making choices that stretch you, not shrink you. You're not stuck. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're one committed decision away from shifting everything. It starts with taking responsibility for your direction. It starts with breaking from your past. It starts with aligning your actions with your potential, not your fears. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting to feel ready. You're ready when you decide to act like it. Measure your days not just by results, but by alignment. Did you move like someone who's growing? Did you speak like someone who values their voice? Did you use your time like someone serious about their goals? That's progress. That's growth. Yes, it will feel like a stretch at first. That's the point. You're breaking the cycle. You're rewriting your identity. You're trading comfort for intention. It takes effort. It takes self-control. But it builds something no one can take away. Self-respect, belief, and a life you can stand behind. The reputation that matters most is the one you build with yourself. Once you trust yourself, you stop chasing external validation. You stop waiting for others to push you. You become your own standard. The shift you're looking for won't appear out of nowhere. It comes from how you carry yourself today, right now. You can keep acting like the old version of you and reliving the same results, or you can step into the higher version you know you're capable of. And it all begins with your next move. Make it count. Act like the person you want to become, because only you can. Chapter 7. Drop the excuses and take real steps forward. You either move forward or you stay stuck. There is no middle ground. And the reason most people stay stuck isn't lack of potential. It's the excuses they protect themselves with. Excuses sound convincing. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start next week. I'm waiting for the right moment. But excuses are just delays dressed up as reasons. They feel safe because they let you avoid effort without guilt. But while they protect your pride, they quietly steal your progress. You can't hold on to excuses and expect to grow. At some point, you have to face the truth. Nothing will change until you stop justifying where you are. Explaining your situation doesn't move you forward, only action does. Every excuse hands away your control. It says something outside of you is responsible for your lack of progress. That mindset won't build you. It won't strengthen you. It turns you reactive instead of responsible. It keeps you waiting instead of leading. If you want change, the excuses have to go. Not tomorrow, not when it's easier. Now, excuses feel safe because if you never try fully, you never risk failing fully. But that same protection is why you stay stuck. You're guarding the version of yourself that doesn't grow. The truth. Failure stings for a moment. Regret lingers for a lifetime. And regret comes not from failing, but from never trying. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. Life won't suddenly get quieter. Your schedule won't magically clear. Motivation won't arrive on demand. What you need is to start with what you have, where you are. Take one step. Clean one part of your life. Stick to one rule. Make one strong decision. Movement creates momentum, and the only way to create momentum is by acting, not by planning. People always find reasons they can't. The ones who move forward are the ones who start anyway, even if it's small, awkward, or imperfect. Because once you begin, your mindset shifts. You stop staring at problems and start noticing possibilities. You stop focusing on what's missing and start seeing what's available. So be honest with yourself. What excuse do you keep repeating? What story are you hiding behind? What patterns are keeping you stuck? Then get clear on what actually needs to be done. Not what's easy, not what feels good. What needs to be done? You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You don't need everything figured out. What you need is movement, proof, action. The longer you carry excuses, the heavier they get. They start shaping your identity. They start sounding like truth. And soon, you forget what you're capable of. Not because you aren't capable, but because you stopped putting yourself in the position to grow. Your habits reveal your priorities. If you say you want progress, but your actions tell a different story, something is off. You can't claim change while living in comfort. You can't demand new results while repeating old patterns. Progress comes with a price. And that price is the end of your excuses. Decide today that you're done explaining yourself to yourself. No more, I didn't have time. No more, I wasn't in the mood. No more, I'll do it later. Those phrases kill more dreams than failure ever could. Be the person who moves forward anyway. The person who doesn't wait for perfect conditions to make real progress. And stop confusing busy with effective. Sometimes excuses hide behind productivity. You're working, yes, but on the wrong things. You're staying active, but avoiding the hard stuff. If you want to grow, go straight into what you've been avoiding. Face the uncomfortable areas. Tackle what feels heavy. That's where growth lives. You don't need a full map. You need one clear action and the courage to take it. Stop recycling the same plans that never turn into progress. Stop forgiving yourself for quitting before you even start. Be patient with results, but relentless with effort. Keep moving, keep adjusting, keep taking steps. Most importantly, stop protecting the version of you that isn't growing. Nothing changes until you do. Your life isn't waiting for the perfect day. It's waiting for your decision. Stop delaying. Stop protecting comfort. Stop believing that next week will feel easier. It won't. The work will still be there. The distractions will still be there. The time will still be limited. The difference will be you, stronger, sharper, committed. Not relying on ideal conditions, but on your own discipline. There's freedom on the other side of excuses. Freedom to move. Freedom to build momentum. Freedom to grow into someone who doesn't settle. But to get there, you have to let go of the stories that keep you small. Stop making challenges a reason to stand still. Turn them into reasons to rise. Use the pressure. Use the frustration. Use the fact that you're tired of starting over as fuel to keep going. You've thought about it long enough. You've waited long enough. Now it's time to act like it matters. Adopt one rule: no more excuses. If something needs to be done, you do it. Not because it's easy, not because it's fun, but because it's necessary. That's how progress is made. That's how your future is built. That's how you become who you're meant to be. One decision, one step, one day at a time. Without excuses. Chapter 8. No more excuses. Use your time better. Time is the one thing you can't get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can lose money and earn it again. You can miss an opportunity and wait for another. But time, it never returns. That's why how you use your hours says everything about how serious you are about your life. You can't talk about goals while wasting half your day. You can't say you want change and treat your time like it doesn't matter. The truth is, your life is the sum of how you spend your hours. Most people don't run out of time, they waste it. Not all at once, but in small leaks that add up. 10 minutes here, 30 minutes there, endless scrolling, pointless conversations, putting off tasks that should have been done today. Time slips away quietly, and then one day you look up and wonder where the last 6 months went. That's why you must start treating time like it matters, because it does. Using your time better doesn't mean filling every second. It means being intentional. It means knowing what moves you forward and cutting out what doesn't. It means catching yourself when you drift into distraction. It means following through with your plan even when you don't feel like it. Here's reality. No one is coming to manage your time for you. No one will hold your hand and keep you focused. That's on you. If you don't run your time will run you. And if you don't control it, distractions will. Laziness will. Comfort will. So ask yourself, do you own your hours or do they own you? Every day, you're given the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference is how much of that you give to your future and how much you waste on what doesn't matter. Deep down, you already know the answer. You know where you're wasting it. You know the habits and distractions that steal it. The fix isn't complicated. It's not about magic systems. It doesn't take magic. It takes discipline. Start with structure. Give your day a shape. Decide which hours belong to your goals, your growth, your responsibilities, then protect those hours. Don't drift into your day hoping you'll get to everything. That only creates frustration. Lead your time. Break it down. Know what you're working on and why. Clarity cuts waste. Without it, it's easy to spend hours doing nothing that matters. The first hour of your day is powerful. It sets the tone. Use it for distractions, and you'll fight distraction all day long. Use it to align with your purpose, and everything else gets easier. The last hour matters too. It resets your mind, prepares you for tomorrow, and clears the clutter. Waste it, and you'll always feel behind. This isn't about being perfect with your time. It's about being better, day by day. 10 wasted minutes today becomes hours of lost progress by the end of the week. But 10 focused minutes every day creates momentum that compounds. You don't need to overhaul your whole schedule. Start small. Fix one part of your day. Get consistent. Then move to the next. Keep adjusting until your time starts working for you. And let's be honest, you already know what wastes your time. The habits, the distractions, the endless scrolling, the conversations that go nowhere. Stop pretending you don't know. Stop justifying it. Stop acting like you have unlimited hours to burn. You don't. Every hour you waste on the meaningless is an hour stolen from the meaningful. Care enough about your future to protect your time from your present laziness. That's the shift. When you start using your time better, everything changes. You feel lighter. You stop rushing. You stop feeling behind. You see progress. You build trust with yourself. You end the day knowing you moved forward, even if only by a little. Most people waste more energy avoiding effort than it would take to just do the work. That's the trap. Wasting time feels easier now, but costs more later. Lost time turns into stress. Stress turns into guilt. Guilt turns even small tasks into mountains. That cycle only gets harder to escape. But you can break it. Take back control. Be ruthless about what gets your time. You don't owe it to everyone who asks for it. You don't have to answer every message. You don't have to say yes to every request. You have the right to say no. You have the right to protect your focus. You have the right to prioritize your growth. Because if you don't, no one else will. Check your screen time. Look at where the hours are going. Then ask, what if I gave even half that time to my goals, my health, my mindset? You already have the time. You just need to use it differently. And it all starts with a decision. A decision to stop drifting. A decision to stop letting the clock run your life. A decision to show up with purpose. Using your time better also means knowing when to rest. Rest is not wasted time if it's intentional. Recovery rebuilds you. Stillness resets you, but escape and avoidance? That steals from you. Learn the difference. You don't need to be busy every hour, you need to be deliberate. Even downtime can move you forward if you choose it with intention. But wasting time out of habit, that's what eats away at progress. That's what weakens discipline. So don't fill your day with noise. Fill it with actions that matter. Time won't slow down. It won't pause for your distractions. It doesn't care about excuses. It just keeps moving. The people who win aren't always the smartest. They're the ones who manage their hours. They build routines that serve them. They stay focused. They cut what doesn't matter. That's your next level. Not more effort, better effort. Not more hours, better use of your hours. Don't chase busy. Chase results. Keep your time clean. Keep it focused. Keep it aligned with who you want to become. Because once time is gone, you can't rewind it, replace it, or buy more. You either used it well, or you lost it. That's the truth. Chapter 9. Be honest about what's holding you back. Most people wait until it's too late. Don't be one of them. Start today, not next week, not after the next distraction. Start now. Use your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Real change doesn't begin with more effort. It begins with more honesty. If you want to grow, you have to face what's holding you back. Not later, not when it's convenient, but right now. Most people say they want to improve, but they avoid the truth. They keep busy. They stay distracted. They blame outside pressures. They chase new plans. But none of it works if you won't admit what's really in your way. You can't build a better life while ignoring the habits that keep pulling you down. Being honest isn't about shame. It's about clarity. It's about facing reality so you can finally do something about it. Maybe you've been hiding in your comfort zone. Maybe you've been choosing easy over necessary. Maybe you've been lying to yourself about how consistent you really are. The truth stings, but it's also the only place change begins. You already know what's been slowing you down. You've felt it. You've seen it in the lack of results. You've heard it in the excuses you keep repeating. And the longer you avoid it, the longer you stay stuck in the same loop. You can't move forward if you're still dragging the same patterns. You can't break through if you won't admit what you've been protecting. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's a lack of discipline. But whatever it is, it's yours to face. The strongest people aren't the ones who have everything figured out. They're the ones willing to face what's broken. They're not afraid of truth. They use it. They let it guide their next move. You can't get stronger if you keep lying about your weaknesses. You can't fix what you refuse to see. That's why self-honesty is the foundation of growth. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say your job, your past, or your schedule is to blame. But growth requires asking, what part of this is on me? What choices have I made that I keep pretending don't matter? What habits are silently wasting my potential? You don't need every answer. You just need to stop hiding from the questions. Maybe you've gotten used to being distracted. Maybe you've told yourself you're trying, but deep down you know you're avoiding the real work. Maybe you've convinced yourself you're too busy when really you're scared to commit. That's not weakness. It's being human. But being human doesn't mean staying stuck. It means deciding to do something different. Honesty means admitting not everything you're doing is working. It means facing what you've avoided. It means recognizing that some routines, some relationships, some beliefs, they're not helping anymore. Growth is about outgrowing. Outgrowing excuses, outgrowing patterns, outgrowing the version of you that plays small. And that takes courage. It takes strength to look at yourself without filters. Pretending is easier. Saying you're fine is easier. But nothing changes in denial. Change only comes when you choose truth over comfort. When you say, this part of me needs to improve, and I'm not running from it anymore. Most people aren't held back by complexity. They're held back by lack of clarity. They don't know what to fix because they're not being real about what's broken. They think they need more motivation or a new system, but what they really need is to face what they already know. Sometimes it's fear of failure. Sometimes it's fear of judgment. Sometimes it's comfort in staying where it feels familiar, even if it's not fulfilling. But if you want growth, you have to break that pattern. You have to stop avoiding the discomfort of truth. And you have to stop waiting for someone else to call it out. You already know. Now you act on it. Ask yourself right now, what have I been pretending not to see? Where am I not giving my best effort? What am I blaming instead of taking responsibility for? Your next level begins with honest answers to those questions. If you can answer those hard questions honestly, you're already ahead of most people. Because facing the truth is tough, but once you do, the path forward becomes clear. You can't lie to yourself and expect your life to work. Stop pretending your habits aren't the problem if they are. Stop acting like time is against you when you know you've been wasting it. Stop saying you don't know where to start, when deep down you do. You're just afraid to begin. That's where the real shift happens. Not in doing more, not in waiting longer, but in finally being honest about why you're stuck. You don't need perfection. You don't need control over every detail. What you need is to stop running from the part of you that needs to grow up. Because that part isn't going away. It shows up in your thoughts, in your choices, in the results you're sick of repeating. It will keep showing up until you deal with it. That means discipline. That means better routines. That means letting go of behaviors that shrink you. That means choosing the hard path when the easy one is right there. Because the person you're becoming requires a stronger version of you. One that stops hiding, one that faces the truth, one that isn't afraid to change direction. You don't need a restart. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to stop lying to yourself about what's in the way. Face it. Name it. Deal with it. And when you do, progress comes quicker than you expect. Why? Because clarity is power. You stop wasting energy on the act. You stop living in denial. You become focused, clean, sharp, And that's when you become dangerous in the best possible way. You can't fix what you won't face. You can't grow through what you won't admit. You can't win with a strategy built on denial. So get real. Stay real. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Not because anyone told you to, but because you've decided you're done living small. That's your turning point. That's the beginning of real transformation. Not in doing more. In doing what matters. And you only see what matters when you're honest enough to clear away the noise. Be real with yourself, not once, but daily. Ask better questions. Give honest answers. Face your own patterns, then rebuild from there. Brick by brick, truth by truth, action by action. That's how you take your life back. That's how you become your best self. And it all begins with honesty. Not later. Now. Chapter 10, Prove Through Action. That change starts with you. Change doesn't begin when you talk about it. It doesn't begin when you plan it. It doesn't even begin when you believe in it. Change begins the moment you take action, not once. Not only when you feel motivated, but every time you choose discipline over delay, progress over comfort, effort over excuses. If you want your life to look different, you have to act like it matters. Stop waiting for outside forces to shift. Become the person who shifts from within. You've heard enough. You've thought enough. Now it's about proving it, not with words, but with actions. You don't need a different past. You don't need better circumstances. You don't need more time. You need better behavior, better use of time, and full ownership of your choices. Action is the evidence. Without it, everything else is noise. Without it, your dreams stay stuck in your head. Without it, your intentions never leave the page. The people who truly change their lives aren't the ones with perfect plans. They're the ones who take responsibility and start. They don't wait for the right moment or the perfect mood. They create momentum through consistent behavior. They lead themselves when it would be easier to wait for someone else. That's the separator. It's not luck. It's not resources. It's the way you move when no one is watching. It's the way you carry yourself when no one claps. It's the decisions you make when the only accountability is the voice inside your head. You don't prove change by talking about what you'll do someday. You prove it through the habits you practice every day. Today is the proof. Not in what you say, not in what you write down, but in what you do. You prove it when you wake up at the time you promised yourself. You prove it when you finish the tasks you set instead of leaving them half done. You prove it when you choose discipline over laziness, health over comfort. That's how you show yourself and the world that your standards are no longer negotiable. And when that shift happens, something powerful takes root. Self-trust. Because now you're not relying on hope. You're building results from consistency. There's no shortcut to becoming your best self. It's not one big decision. It's a decision followed by thousands of small ones that reinforce it. It's waking up and acting in alignment with the life you say you want. It's doing the hard thing without waiting to be convinced. It's following through without needing applause. When your actions match your values, you build identity. You begin walking with purpose. You stop chasing motivation and start producing progress. Change doesn't need permission. It needs a plan and the courage to follow through. That means getting serious about your time, getting focused on your priorities, getting ruthless with your distractions. Not because it's trendy, but because you know what's at stake. You've wasted enough days searching for the easy way. Now you know the only way is through. And no, this isn't about perfection. You'll stumble. You'll miss a day. You'll fall short. That's not failure. That's feedback. The goal isn't to never mess up. The goal is to never quit, to catch yourself drifting and get back on track fast. Because strength isn't built on instant payoff. It's built in the quiet days. The days you stay disciplined when no one's watching, when nothing feels exciting, when it would be easier to let it slide. The difference between who you are now and who you want to be isn't ability, it's behavior. And behavior is a choice you can make starting today. You don't need to wait for Monday. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need a perfect plan. What you need is alignment. actions that match the person you want to become. That means choosing progress over pride, taking the first step even when you're unsure, proving to yourself that your word matters. Your future isn't built on luck, it's built on patterns. Patterns of showing up, patterns of thinking clearly, patterns of cutting what doesn't serve you and reinforcing what does. That's how you build a life you're proud of. Not through one dramatic change, but through consistent choices stacked day after day until they become your new normal. You've waited long enough. You've made enough excuses. Now it's time to prove you're serious, not by talking, not by sharing your plans, but by changing how you show up. You don't need the world's permission. You need your own. Draw the line. Say it clearly. This is the version of me I refuse to carry forward. This is where it changes. And no, change doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to flip your whole life overnight. You just need to stack one solid decision on another. Clarify what matters. Eliminate distractions. Show up when it's hard. Stay consistent when it's boring. Every decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every action either locks you into the old identity or builds the new one. And when you keep choosing what's hard but necessary, confidence grows. You stop needing to be pushed. You start pushing yourself. You stop living on potential. You start living with results. You don't change your life in theory. You change it in practice. Through your routine, through your habits, through the effort you give when no one would blame you for quitting. That's what real power looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, but disciplined, consistent, honest. You stop pretending and start proving. You stop waiting and start building. You stop blaming and start owning. Because change doesn't come to those who talk. It comes to those who act, who commit, who endure. The choice is yours. Keep explaining your limits or rise up and take responsibility. No one else is in control. No one else can lead this shift. You are the driver. And the more you act like it, the more everything around you begins to respond. So don't just say you're serious, show it. Don't wait for momentum, create it. Don't hope for progress, earn it. Every day, wake up and decide again. I set the tone. I lead the direction. My actions are the proof. Change doesn't live in words, it lives in motion. And that motion starts now.